I'd take away the experienced and mature style gamer approach, and I'd play it in a way that developers wanted, and that was to explore and just have fun. March 2023, I bought a Nintendo Switch alongside Tears of the Kingdom. I bought this because I was going through a stage where I wasn't getting much time to game or sit down in front of an Xbox or a PlayStation. I needed something that was handheld and handy to play in bed. At the time we had a 6-month-old boy and we weren't getting much time at all. 2 years on, I have put some amount of hours into this game. How? It's because of the handheld mode. This video is all going to be about me talking about how it got me back into gaming. Before we get into it, my name is James on a Hill, and here I talk about my favourite games and books that I like to immerse myself into and that I find positive escapism in as well. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe. This video is going to be broken up into 4 different parts. Part 1, how not to play Zelda The Tears of the Kingdom. Part 2, HATENO Village is GOAT. Part 3, art music is just class. And part 4, no expectation of an outcome. Part 1, how not to play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Over the years I've come to learn a lot about games as a casual gamer, and I bet many of you have as well. We come to learn the systems, mechanics and styles of different games, and even more so of different game developers. Tears of the Kingdom is very unlike anything I've ever played before. It's a breath of fresh air. Get it? Oh wait, this is a Tears of the Kingdom video, not a Breath of the Wild video. Dad joke number 1. Unlike most people, I was late to the party, and I played Tears of the Kingdom before Breath of the Wild. So technically it was a breath of fresh air for me anyway. But seriously, the game is amazing. The blend of visuals, audio, gameplay and story goes together better than a meat and mushroom skewer. You see, there is a certain way to play this game that is also unlike anything I've ever played before. When we make our way to the end of the tutorial area and we skydive down to Hyrule Field, we experience full freedom to do whatever we want. But James, there are plenty of games like that you're free to do whatever you want. What makes this one any different? Well, the difference is, with your freedom you have curiosity. You actually want to see what is in the distance. You're starting from scratch in terms of level, equipment, health and stamina. So there is an actual necessity to your exploration. Every shrine you beat, every cave you plunder and gear you upgrade is progression. You don't need a level system with an XP bar telling you how close you are to leveling up. Your progression is a result of your experience. That is a result of your exploration, and that is achieved through freedom and space. If I were to tell you how I approach this game as a casual gamer in one word, it would be rushed. It's regretful that I feel this way. I bet some of you could relate. The game doesn't come up with a disclaimer saying, "Yeah mate, this is a fantastic game, so don't be an asshole and rush it. Play it like you played Ocarina of Time back in the day when you didn't have a clue what you were doing and you didn't have the convenience of YouTube every time you got stuck on a puzzle for over 30 seconds. For the first 80 to 100 hours of playing Tears of the Kingdom, I fell in love with it. I had so much fun playing in this massive world. The characters, world and gameplay were impressive. So much that I was beginning to consider this to be the best Zelda game I had ever played. Maybe this was the honeymoon phase. I stuck with the main story of focusing on the story and not so much side content or anything really else the game had to offer. When it came to building fancy contraptions, I took the lazy approach and stuck with a plank of wood, 2 wheels and a steering stick. I progressed through the story quickly and was on my way to fighting Ganon. I then had this real burnout feeling. It came out of nowhere. It was a real 3 AM, where is my birth certificate moment. It was a feeling of boredom. The world felt shallow and actually quite empty. The rewards versus effort felt very out of balance. I felt a feeling of, what is the point here? Like, why am I doing this? I wasn't enjoying the game anymore. I wanted to, but it just felt like another tick box. It was like a sign-off sheet, so I went ahead and finished the game anyway. Funny thing is, I really struggled fighting Ganon because I was so underprepared. I then beat the game and put it down for a while. A few weeks or so went by, and I picked it up again to see if I could go about doing more tick box exercises. Maybe now that I've beat the story, I can go back and do a full 100%. Little did I know at the time how hard that is actually to achieve. I played a few side missions and I began to enjoy the game again. I began to play it like I would have played Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess back in the day. Exploration became more of a forefront because I was trying to search for caves, bullfrogs, wells, NPCs and gathering resources to upgrade armor sets. At this point I began feeling regret on how I approached the first 80 to 100 hours. I felt I should have taken this approach at the beginning of my playthrough, not 100 hours in. I totally rushed it and I didn't play the game the way that the developers wanted me to play it. I fell into the Elden Ring trap. I stood in front of that annoying 3 sentinel instead of going and exploring and building experience through actual experience. Experience not rushed, but played in a slow manner. I noticed a few things. I felt a new appreciation for the childlike theme the game had to offer. The game allowed me to explore, adventure and be free. It allowed me to be slow. It even forced me to be slow. Something I'm not used to, and neither is most of us in today's world. You see, we live in a world that is go, go, go. Our lives feel like we're on a train that seems to never stop or even slow down. We have so much going on in our lives, we tend to rush things and juggle multiple things at once. It's rare that we do one thing at a time and do it in a slow, thoughtful way. Playing Tears of the Kingdom now felt like an enjoyable experience. It allowed me to have fun at a real, naturally human pace. Days and weeks where I'd feel stressed out and had a lot on my mind, it was a relief to spend an hour just focused on exploring old castle ruins, caves and ravines. Doing simple tasks for NPCs would feel great. Collecting items to upgrade armour felt like I was making progress, even if it was at a pace I wasn't used to. When I use the words, how not to play Tears of the Kingdom, I mean that if I was to experience the game again for the first time, I'd take away the imaginary timer I had in the back of my mind. I'd take away the pressure of progress. I'd take away the experienced and mature style gamer approach, and I'd play it in a way that developers wanted, and that was to explore and just have fun. Part 2. HATENO Village is GOAT. I remember I played for a few days in a row and raked up a good few hours game time, and all I did was the quest lines around HATENO Village. I got absolutely lost in this section of the game. It was like a nostalgic dream, a dream full of curiosity and wonder. It was like having a cuppa with buttered digestives in front of a fire with slacks, a hoodie and bed socks on a winter's night. I remember thinking to myself, this is peak Zelda right here. The last time I got that feeling was playing Ocarina of Time, and I was flying around Kakariko Village on the chickens. HATENO Village was a big part of my playthrough. It got me more into the side missions, and how fun the smaller stories were. They were so silly but fantastic, like everyone going in there a fashion craze. So stupid, but it's actually brilliant. When I say HATENO Village is GOAT, the greatest of all time, I mean that if we could rate Zelda throughout the years of Zeldiness, I'd rate HATENO Village pretty high. Tarry Town is up there too. I could list many more in this game, but I think HATENO hits the nostalgic and Zelda vibe right on the head for me. When we think about open world games, one of the most important aspects is that it makes an open world game great is the ability to make the player feel like they are in a real living place. I really felt this to be true in HATENO, not just in this town or Tarry Town, but throughout every corner of Hyrule. NPCs just do their own thing. When we talk to them, they feel like they are real people. Side quests that involve produce and fashion between the mayor and clothes shop owner feel like a real situation. Your input actually matters, and it's so fun. As well as it being fun, it's easy and it doesn't take much effort. I remember not wanting to move on from this section of the game because it felt like a respite. It felt calm and relaxing. Shrines, battles and main objectives are taxing in a way. These few days just spent in HATENO felt like a mini holiday, a weekend away, time of peace. When feeling tired from sleepless nights with my 6-month-old, when finding the grind of work and responsibilities of life a bit too much, I was grateful for that peace. When I'd get 20 minutes in a full day of chaos to try fix the political turmoil happening in HATENO, I'd try to fix it. I'd try to fix it with a smile on my face and a feeling of calm and joy. Part 3. The art and music is just class. When I purchased the Nintendo Switch and Zelda, I had to wait for it to arrive as I ordered it online. The last Zelda I played was Skyward Sword on the Wii. I wasn't exposed to any game-related footage for Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. All I knew was it was open world and it wasn't linear style like some of the other titles. So in the 3 days after purchasing and waiting for the console and game to arrive, I checked out the Tears of the Kingdom release trailer, and boy did I get psyched. That saxophone hit me in the soul. It hit me with awe and excitement. Every Zelda fan knows the feeling watching that trailer, and I'm sure if you come from playing Breath of the Wild, that would maybe hit even more. If the trailer music had this impact on me, what was the game going to do? Let's talk about the music first. The first thing I noticed in my playthrough is that the music comes in so subtly and softly. I seen myself crossing a bridge towards a village, only to hear the gentle notes of a piano coming in, and immersing me, drawing me in with curiosity. Each score for each village and situation is so wonderfully unique. In times of adventure, the score would make me feel a sense of wonder, and in times of danger, that sound would make me feel tense. I seen a YouTube video once talking about how Breath of the Wild's emptiness in the world matters. The YouTuber spoke about how music is a representation of how Link feels in the moment. I couldn't agree more. The music is a player's perspective in a way. Calm music enforces a sense of calm, not just for Link, but for the player. Some of the best games I've played has had amazing soundtracks. When I played Dark Souls 3 and I fought the Abyss Watchers, I think I began dying on purpose just to hear that jaw-dropping soundtrack hit on the second phase of the fight. Or when I played Expedition 33 and heard the Renoir boss fight theme, I was like, whoa, I can't appreciate these soundtracks enough, and it made Tears of the Kingdom special. When it comes to the art, I think it's safe to say that it stands out. The colours are so vibrant and bold. The blades of grass blowing in the wind just look fantastic. I think if I was to pick a game world to live in for 24 hours, it would be this version of Hyrule. Many games I've played do a really great job in the art department. I think Gears of War for its gritty look. I think sketchy rustic look for Skate 1. And for Doom, I think gory and explosive looks. These styles back the game's vibe, and Tears of the Kingdom has created its own vibrant, colourful art. The art mixed with the music gives this game a soul. That mix with playful gameplay makes the world a place I wanted to return to and a place I will continue to go back over the years to come. Part 4. No expectations of an outcome. I love how I can pick this game up and just play. If I go back to it after a long break, I don't need to remember where I left off. I return to a place that requires nothing but to move forward in any direction I feel like it. I can go hunt down some Korok seeds, go search out the depths for some unique items, or try to just seek out new places to explore. There isn't pressure to progress. There is no pressure really at all to do anything. Zelda is missing, yes, but who really cares? Joke. With games I want to play again that have been shelved for a while, I would usually restart a playthrough, but with this game it feels like one long event. An event that is filled with small moments that make up a journey of a playthrough. All the hours spent over the 2 years all had an impact on my adventure, and it shows with my many hearts, my full stamina, and my many sets of armour and upgraded sets. I've completed the game, and my discovered map percentage is only 58%. That shows how big this game is for having over 200 hours spent in it. Some people may think it's too big or cluttered, and that's a valid argument. However, I think it's great. It's a marathon for me and not a race. I'll get to 100% over years and not a few months. Who knows, I may never even get to 100%. It's like that old saying, success is not the end goal, but the journey to get there. I have no expectations anymore for an outcome in this game. That sounds quite negative when I read my own thumbnail and said it out loud, but it's a very positive thing. The outcome isn't the reason I play this game, and my expectations don't align with an outcome. I care for the beauty of this game, I care for the journey throughout that isn't perfect. I didn't play it in a linear fashion, and I'm glad I didn't. I played it my way, even if I did regret my initial approach. This game helped me through times that were very stressful. This game didn't add to my stress. It didn't expect anything from me. It only wanted me to play it and find enjoyment in it. This game holds so much value to me. It reminds me of special times as being a new dad and everything that comes with that. It will be nostalgia for my future self. It reminds me that gaming is meant to be fun, immersive and bring joy. It reminds me that games like this can add to your life and it isn't a waste of energy or time. All these reasons are why I fell in love with the Tears of the Kingdom and how it got me back into gaming. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Why do you love Tears of the Kingdom? And what makes it special for you? Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Have a great day. All the best, guys.